Welcome to Money, Love and Life. If you are first time in my video, please subscribe the channel so that we can discuss more important, meaningful videos. And yes, here we go, talk about Log4j vulnerability that has taken over the internet. At first, the problem was there was hardly any video on Log4j, and now the problem is there is so many meaningless videos on Log4j that doesn't really address the basic penny areas like how to check version or what is the fix to the vulnerability. So here we start with important questions, and I promise I'll stick to very particular points which will be helpful. What is the version that is impacted? Yes, surely if you go through the documents, by now you must have figured out the versions 2 to 2.14 are vulnerable. With this, there is a question that comes up, and I found in the comment section in my earlier video that does that mean log version with version 1 is impacted or not? So yes, here I'll try to answer that. The initial version, that is log4j1 series, has reached its end of life back in 2015, which is why right now they are not accountable. Apache is not accountable for that version. So the chances are this has already been discussed, and that is why they are not talking about it. Log version 1 and its series is definitely vulnerable. To give out the information, it is definitely vulnerable, but there is no direct correlation. Like if you see the second paragraph of the screen, Log4j version 1x is not directly vulnerable because it does not offer the JNDI lookup. However, Log4j1, here comes the interesting part, comes with JMSA appender, which will actually look up. So it does help the attacker who can write to an application's Log4j configuration to perform a remote code execution attack, right? So yes, if you are in the primitive version which already has reached its end of life period, then surely there is no point to stay there. You have to upgrade yourself to the latest version. And till yesterday, till a couple of days back, it was told 2 to 2.14 is under vulnerability, but it definitely implies that the previous versions which are in 1 is definitely vulnerable, because that was already declared much before. In 2015, it has attained its end of life. With this, we will go to our next section, the next important question. Okay. So the next information that I would like to give is there is a news. The news is 2.15 was released on 6th December, right? So in my earlier video, the first video which I published, I mentioned that it is suggestive that we should go to 2.15. We should upgrade the version to 2.15 in order to deal with this vulnerability. Now, the interesting part is there is another version that is in place already, that is on 13th December, right? So the latest release is 2.16 and not 2.15. So what do we mean by this? Does it mean that 2.15 couldn't address all the issues of this vulnerability attack? Yes, you're right. In that case, you must be aware of the CVE number that your security officer must have emailed you if you are an IT professional. So initially it was 44228, CVE 44228, when this version was already in place. To cater this, the version 2.15 was initially released, but however, it has been observed that not all the issues are taken care in this version, which is why the latest version would be 2.16. This is a big news and not much people are talking about it. So I felt it is imperative to understand the latest version is 2.16, which is all inclusive, which has addressed all the issues faced in the initial version. If I just quickly read through what it talks about, Log4j's JNDI support has not restricted what names could be resolved. Some protocols are unsafe or can allow remote code execution. If you see, they have clearly accepted that the initial version, according to this CVE, was not up to the mark. Then comes the other CVE number. You see this is the second vulnerability security number, 45046. So here it is said that it was found, if you go to the details section here, okay, it was found that the fix to address CVE, the earlier one, the earlier number in Apache log 2.15 was incomplete in certain non-default configurations. I come again. So it is mentioned that in the earlier 2.15 version, it was incomplete in certain non-default configurations. This could allow the attackers to still control and do the attacks, right? So without going into further details, I'll straight away move to what then is the utility of this newer version. Is it at all of any use? Am I okay if I am already done with the upgrade to 2.15? Should I hold back, or should I actually consider updating it to 2.16? So it clearly does two basic things. One, it disables the JNDI. This was the problem. JNDI was the problem. It disables this. And two, it removes the message lookup feature. So that way, it cannot take a control of the target server. The attacker or the hacker cannot take the control of the server. The remote session is not possible if the lookups are blocked, if it's blocked. So a quickly revision. One, the initial security incident was, the initial security concern was taken care by 2.15, but there was another security vulnerability incident identified, and it surely was not taken care by 2.15, which is why 2.16 is there, where a complete disabling of JNDI. So in 2.15, it was not complete disable of JNDI functionality. So in 2.16, there is this feature of complete disabling the JNDI functionality by default, removing the messages, the message lookup feature. Okay, so now the question would be, okay, there is this news, a quick news that I would like to read for you. 2.16 has been released solely to disable access to JNDI by default and completely remove the ability to use the lookup. The CVE noted below was fixed in the 2.15 release. 2.16 is a recommended upgrade to ensure that JNDI will not be abused and that message lookups are no longer possible. So one security incident was taken care by 2.15, but still there was this JNDI feature through which, okay, so talking about JNDI, I'll quickly, for the people who are trying to understand it in layman terms, what is JNDI, why we are talking about JNDI, it's basically the Java naming and directory interface, right? So Java API for a directory service that allows the Java software clients to discover and look up data and resources. Okay, so this has been taken care in the latest upgrade. So, okay, fine. We made our mind that we have to upgrade to 2.16. Then what would be the requirement? What are the prerequisites? The prerequisites for anything, any versions of Log4j 2.13 and above is it has to have a Java 8 version, right? The 2.4 through 2.12 would require Java 7, right? And the Log4j team no longer supports, like I'm saying. So previous versions, there is no support from the vendor, Apache vendor, because those have reached the end of life. Okay. With this, we'll move to our next topic. What are the particular applications which has been identified to be as disruptive, to be vulnerable the most? Okay, so Log4 shell and Log4j are the same. Do not worry about the different terms. So it was first reported privately to Apache on November 24th and was patched with 2.15 of Log4j on December 9. It affects, these are the applications which are under serious threat: Apache Druid, Elasticsearch, Apache. So I do myself use VMware vCenter. Yes, these are highly under trouble. Okay. Now quickly I'll talk about so now that you have your requirements in place, you would be surely interested to know how to upgrade. Suppose I know there is a vulnerability, my application is under threat. Very good. Now what to do? So here is the solution. The upgrade activity could be simple if you are converting the log4j to you are converting the first version log4j1 xjar file, you see it's mentioned here, to log4j2's this jar. So one jar replaced with another jar file, then this can be successfully applied. So it apparently is a one-liner when I'm giving you the suggestion how to migrate, but all IT professionals understand that this is not that straight. So for this, I have identified a PDF of Apache, which is a 306 pages, you can see. So, but what I can do is I have marked it the important area. So 3.1 is the important segment that talks about migration to one version to another version. So I'll give this link for you to access, and straight away, without just being very wordy about the topic, you can straight away go to the steps and you can see what are the prerequisites. You will see the requirements over here. These are the requirements you have to meet. 1, 2, 3. If these requirements are met, then there is a straight fix. Now suppose you are using a monitoring tool, say AppDynamics, SolarWinds, or say Dynatrace, and or say any other applications which has Java framework. So what would be the way? How would you handle this? So ideally, if the log.j are affected, you should reach out to the vendor. So here it's mentioned, you see, that the IT partners should also contact all application vendors. You can simply write to your vendor. If you have the vendor support, say SolarWinds, if you are accessing SolarWinds, you write to the SolarWinds customer portal that please give us mitigation. What is the remedy? What is the mitigation plan? And they would surely share with you the vulnerability plan, a patch in specific, which you can simply run in your system. And so ask for the patch, and everybody would come up with a patch, right? So I have personally figured out there is a list of applications which are already identified. Many companies are already asking their employees to follow those patch, and they can improve their existing environment. So that link I'll share with you in the description, all right, where you can simply go to all the lists. And before that, I'll also suggest that like I'm asking here to replace one file with the new file, correct? The jar files can be replaced. So where would you get the jar file? Here is the download of the jar file. So this is the link, apache.org. I'll again copy this link and put it in the description for you, so you can clearly see this is the 2.6 version which you can simply download and use, right? So with this, you know that you are in the safe hands because you are downloading it from the apache.org. There is a procedure. This is the link, correct? So there is a procedure to cross-check whether the downloaded version is correct or there is any spam, any virus to it. So you or everything you would get here in this link, Apache link, which I'll again copy at the bottom. So now you know the problem is with the version 2.14 till 2.14. 2.15 did fix to some extent, but there was a problem. So 2.16 is the latest version is 2.16. For having 2.16, you need to have the prerequisites met. With prerequisites being met, now how to upgrade would be your question. To upgrade, you come to this link and you download this file, right? You download this file, which will give you a 2.16 version. You just have to then replace the file You then can simply migrate by replacing the file, one jar file, with the other, right? So I'm trying to put it in the layman terms so that anybody who is this is not a daily, it's not a BAU, it's not a regular activity that we do. So it's okay if we find this is very very unknown to us. So now you have the file that can be replaced. If you are using a particular tool, any applications, you should reach out to the vendor. And here is the link I'll take you to, with which you can see a list of, yes. So just give me a moment while I connect to the net. I disconnected because I was making this video. So here you can see this link. Again, I'll copy this link in the description. This link will cover almost all applications, tools, right, which are vulnerable, which are identified as vulnerable. You can see many, out of which I know a few myself, like see AppDynamics. You see whatever, you name it and it's there. So you name it and it would be there. So if it is vulnerable, so what this link basically tells you is, it gives what the vendor response is ahead of time. So already they are receiving, all the vendors, all this application third-party vendors are receiving ample questions from the existing users, correct? So rather than waiting, they have put it out in public. So for example, I'll talk about this AppDynamics link. So they have already discussed what is the patch, what needs to be done, in depth, detailed activity, step by step. Like I saw one comment in the last video, I kept it very high level. So somebody commented, what are the steps? So here are the steps. If you have your application which you want to get checked by the vendor, then you do not even need to contact them. If you find it in this list, the link I give you, then you just follow. If there is a suggestive patch, or if say I also use Archon PAM. So Archon PAM is a .NET framework. So in that case, they clearly will not be involved in it, because they won't have any patch to share with you. So only for vulnerable applications, you would get a summary, a complete in-depth what needs to be done will be mentioned over here. Like Apache agent has to be changed, the controller, so and so on, for on-premise, for SaaS, for DBA. Likewise, I have seen in SolarWinds what needs to be done has been completely documented already and put up in public. So with this, I feel this is quite much of a direction to know what exactly to be done, rather than going haywire talking. I see videos where there are definitions going on, where people are explaining starting from what is Log4j. So what is Log4j and everything is one thing, and what plan of action your management is expecting from you is one thing. So you need to get secured. I guess this video gave you some direction. If you liked it, please subscribe and support. Thank you.